Hey, Peter.
Yep.
You been to the gym yet this year?
I have.
It's pretty packed in there.
The piano gym.
Hey.
The piano gymnasium.
It's the piano gymnasium.
Gymnasium.
I'm Adam Manis.
And I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Two guys just sitting talking music. What
Your whole tone changes when you do this. The modern tagline is
Dude,
just
it's Hollywood.
we're just a couple of buds.
It's showbiz, baby.
We're just Diet Cokes and dopes.
Showbiz. New year.
New you.
We made it.
We did make it. We just, yeah.
How did we work out the timing of this? This is our 1,001th.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yeah. It's our 1,000th and first.
Thousandth and first
So
episode. That also is our first episode of
the new year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Technically, the 1,000th episode came out on January 2nd.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
this is the first one recorded in the year.
That's true.
I know this feels like it's live to people coming through the podcast
because it's so present. Yeah.
Our presence is omnipresent.
It's great timing, man. Well, it worked out perfectly because at the end of December, that's reflection.
We run out of
time.
ideas. We took some time off.
We're tired. We're bloated. There's a lot of salt, a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
No, it is naturally that sort of reflective time where everybody's
Yeah.
like, oh, what was your 2022? And then for
Yeah.
us to have that sort of doubly with like looking back on 1,000 podcasts, this is a really nice way to like us. Well, we're going to start fresh.
Yes.
We're going to start this next 1,000 episodes out
Yep.
with a clear mind, a
Clear body.
intent.
Clean body.
Well, somewhat.
Semi-clean body.
Semi-clean body. But we were doing an episode today. Surely we must have done something similar to this at some point.
It never gets old. And it's always needed. New Year's resolutions.
We're gonna
Musical
do some, yeah.
New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of resolutions
I know.
in general.
We've done this before. I'm not.
I know.
remember us
Last
talking
year
about-
probably. or the
That's
year
why I'm
before.
forcing it down.
Yeah. Do you do for real? Do you do a real resolution every year?
I
Like
do.
a personal one.
No, I do kind of concepts, and I start them. I do it a little bit, but I kind of start them in the middle of December because I don't like the whole, right around January 1st. It's just too much pressure. So it's it goes from the middle of December, and actually these ones that I've done really are kind of specific to music stuff I'm thinking about. But it sort of starts in the middle of December. And I recommend folks try it if you have trouble like hitting right on January 1st, or if you feel like it's a couple days after now and it's too late to wait till next year. I look at it as like December 15th to January 15th as the New Year's resolution time, the
That's
span.
really good.
Yeah.
You know what? I one of the benefits of getting older is hopefully getting a little wiser, maybe. But one of the things I used to be.
Not everyone's following that. I can tell you that.
No, one of the things I used to put on myself a lot is like, okay, now I'm going to be the type of person that just does this, that I practice every day, and I'm going to start on the new year. And then you go around the sun enough times, you realize like, hey, yeah, that doesn't really work.
No.
So I'm definitely more now. You know what I look at it as like now is kind of like little projects, right? So like I'm going to have this project for a while. It's a season for stride piano maybe.
Right.
Or I've been in my yoga life been working on a headstand, finally getting that going. Yeah.
We're going to get that going. We're going to put you right there in front of Tino's window there.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of pressure.
Doing a headstand. Handstand or headstand?
I love that this window is now officially Tina's window. Shout out to Sunshine Draperies.
That's right.
Yeah.
That would be nice, though.
No, but you know what I mean? Like instead of like new year, new me, and finally I'm going to be the person that I always dreamed of or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like you start to realize like, hey, I am this and it's great. And these little things that I work on, they're just little projects that I can do to entertain myself. And if I come out maybe with some new skills or something, all the better,
I think it's great. And I think it's also good because those kinds of projects don't always coincide with the Greco-Roman calendar, as it were.
Certainly not.
So that's cool. Yeah. Well, actually, maybe I'll start out. These are our 7 New Year's-ish resolutions.
Okay.
Musical. And this first one is kind of one that really can be started any time. But this is something that I'm thinking about. It's gonna my first one's gonna start pretty soon. But that is a practice streak.
Oh, here we go.
Well, I've had a little success before, as have you had a little
Let
success.
us know, Peter. What numbers are you on today? Do you even know?
No. This is for music.
I know, but so tell people about your running streak.
Oh, but that's not what I'm talking about today.
I know, but you're. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Okay, yes, I do have a separate. That's not a practice streak. That's a running streak.
No, so for those of you who don't know, Peter has it's a 500 and how many day running
I
streak
think
now?
it might be 600 now, or it gets close to 600.
It might be 600 now. It might be. He's
I didn't ask to talk about this.
100-day
I
running.
think it's actually like 570.
Oh, is
It
that
started in June of 2021.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
570 days where you've run every day.
Yeah.
And so you're going to try to put this to the test with practicing.
Right. Yeah. And I've done this before with just practicing in general, but I'm going to do specific. I don't want to announce it yet.
Oh, so are we looking at a 30-day challenge?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a 30-day. That's what I mean. I should say, yeah, 30-day challenge. The practice streak is for personal. The 30-day challenge is to help others if they want to go along. So I did one a couple of years ago that so many folks have told me, like, that was so cool. I was following along. It was so helpful. Sometimes just the impetus to try something new is to follow somebody else. We do that. I do that all the time with different ideas.
Yeah.
But the idea would be 30 days. It's just kind of a convenient 1 month situation of doing something either conceptual or specific or both within your practice. I like to do something that can be applied in a way that doesn't have to be worked out in advance.
Like example.
Okay, so the last one that I did was practicing something in all 12 keys every day.
That's good.
But something different every day.
It's so good for you. Yeah.
But it gives you, it keeps it fresh. It keeps you kind of engaged, but it also gives you the spontaneity of when you think of something, you're like, oh, wait, could I do that in all 12 keys? So it's a challenge as well.
Yeah.
Some days more so than others.
It's almost like you're putting like a meta challenge on it. Like it's already challenging to practice something in 12 keys, but saying like, can I do that for 7 days in a row? Can I do that for 14 days in a row?
Right.
Can I do that for 21 days? Can I do that for 30 days?
Right. Yeah. Because, I mean, there's certain adaptations that come to your technique, to your general musicianship, certainly to your ear training, to, depending on what the thing that you're practicing, but when you're going through all the different keys, certain melodic things and just ways of thinking about that.
It's the most important thing we can do.
But they don't come right away. So sometimes people will practice something for a couple of days and be like, I'm not getting any better. The 30-day challenge is just like really, making it a habit, repeating it, but taking a concept and putting it in some different places each day. So it has a chance to not only become a habit, but to really have the kind of musical adaptation that's beneficial to you.
Awesome. Well, my first New Year's resolution, we'll call them projects, or this is really a way to get your project going. So I love to, with these little projects, we'll call them resolutions, I suppose.
Yeah. No, we don't have to. We can resolutions.
I want to set a goal.
Yeah.
And then I want to plan the way to get it done. That sounds very simple. So plan your work your plan, essentially. But I want to, so I have the most success when I set a specific goal that's measurable, and then I come up with a plan to follow through on it, right? And it's almost like your 30-day thing. It's like it just gives you a game to so that you're not just like, I'm going to be good at playing these style voicings or whatever. Right. Like it's not just some vague thing, and then after a couple of days you get squirreled away by something else, right? It is like, okay, I'm going to have a specific goal. It's going to look like this if I get it, and it's going to look like this if I don't get it. Mm-hmm. Like there's a win and there's a loss, and it doesn't have to be like competitive, but like there is a tangible result.
Yeah.
Right. That I can say like, okay, when I hit that, then I've reached this goal. And then you plan a way to get that into the details. Right. So, for example, that might be like, I'm going to have a goal to write a duo piece for tenor saxophone and harp. Right. That's my goal because I want to get to know those instruments a little bit better. So I'm going to plan like, okay, this will look like something if I have a first draft by January 30th, right? Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to plan my week so that, okay, I'm going to use 2 hours on a Saturday to sort of plan the structure of the piece.
Yep.
I'm going to be at the piano on Monday for an hour to figure that out. And then you just sort of like plan it out. And then you can check back in. It's really, really effective for anything you want to do.
So a lot of the plan is actually about the scheduling then?
Mostly about the schedule. Well, I mean, if you work out like, what do I need to do to get here? So like if I'm writing a duo piece for tenor saxophone and harp, which actually, now that I think about it, sounds pretty badass.
Bad or badass?
Bad at both. It could be either. But what you need to know is like, okay, well, what is this piece for? How long does it need to be?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like what are the steps I need to do to have it finished and in the hands of the harpist by January 31st?
Yeah.
Right. So once you kind of like reverse engineer that, then I would say, okay, well, I need to have the shitty first draft done by the end of week 1, and I'm going to go into revisions because I know that I'm not going to like everything I do at first, and then I want to tweak some things and put some sprinkles on things and make sure that every bar has some delightful thing that's going on, leading to the next bar. Whatever it is you want to put on it, you know that you're going to need time for that. And so you can, maybe it's 2 weeks is whatever. However much time you give yourself is really going to determine the quality. But that's the beauty of setting a tangible goal, something that is like, this has to happen by this deadline.
That's great.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good. All right. So for number 3, we're doing 7, right?
Yeah.
Is that going to work for you? Okay. Number 3 would be, I really have not a resolution. We'll call it a goal, a New Year's goal, of spending more time with focused listening.
So what does that look like?
So that looks like sitting, most likely, and listening without any distractions, without anything but the music. And it's something, of course, we've talked about a lot here on the pod.
It's a great goal.
It's a great goal, and I've done it at different times, but for some reason I float away from it. I drift away like a ship at sea, like a divorcee from her divorcee, just floating around. I don't know. But the thing about it is whenever I do it, I never float that far from it, but I'll float away from doing it consistently. And I'm always kind of like, why am I not doing this more? Because I love doing this. It's not like a chore.
Yeah.
It's just more of a scheduling thing, So I'm really looking forward to that. And I think, to your point, a little bit of scheduling for that might even be in order. Because I find more and more, like, if I don't schedule something, whether it's not, like, we always think about scheduling things that are kind of a chore. Okay, I got to do this.
No, you got to do time.
Schedule the good stuff in there.
You got to schedule good stuff. You have to schedule time to sharpen your tools. We've been talking about that, but you need to make time for that.
That's right.
It's valuable to do things like deep listening, man. That's
and
great.
You need a diverse, like when you look at your calendar, your electronic or your paper or whatever, like you want to see a diversity of events. Some are like focused work. Some, I look at this as really entertainment.
Yeah.
But but it's so beneficial when it is focused, when it's not like, well, I'm going to listen to that while I'm doing this. No one wants to see that on your schedule. But can you imagine looking on Thursday from 11 to 12 a.m., listening, deep listening?
We're about to go do it here at 2 p.m. No, but you know what? So just another advocate for the scheduling thing. Another thing that does for you is if you schedule out even the good things in your life, you don't have to have added anxiety to yourself of like, oh my gosh, am I going to get time in to do that listening that I promised myself I would do?
Right, because
it's already baked in.
It's going to get pushed to the side.
Of course
for something
it is.
That you think is more mandatory.
Right, exactly. But that kind of stuff is mandatory.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4 is to try something you've never tried before.
Oh.
Yeah. So I love. So I mentioned
meth.
mentioned in meth. No,
you never tried that.
No, not something like that.
Okay, sorry.
Something more musical. So like I mentioned the shitty first draft, right? Which is like a term we learned from our boy Matt at.
We can't say.
Anyway,
say from where.
But it's such a great concept. I love. Like so the point of a shitty first draft is to exist.
Yes.
Right. And so the idea of setting a goal to try something that you've never tried before is like, okay, I think I would like to write for harp. Yeah. I'm going to stick, I'm writing this harp tenor saxophone train out to the end of the episode.
Sounds shitty already.
Yeah. I think I'd like to write something for harp. Okay. Well, you have to, you've never done it before, right? So like the act of trying something you've never done is a way to learn how to do it. And it doesn't have to be good. It just has to exist.
Right.
It's an experiment.
And it's like the acknowledging that it's going to be shitty. Some people will be like, well, why don't you make it great? The whole thing is your expectation is that it's not going to be any good.
It's great if it exists.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it.
That's what. And so the quality, that takes all the pressure off, and it also keeps some scheduled guardrails to get it out there. Now, if you get lucky and your first draft is amazing, well, then that's just a bonus, but that's not why it exists, actually. And that's not why you go through the exercise of committing to it. Really good. All right, we're moving along here. We're on number 5.
All right.
So this goal of mine is to really check out some new music. So some deep listening for sure, but not just the old chestnuts. Like there's such a world of music. And whenever I'm exposed to something serendipitously, like at a coffee shop or if I'm at a festival and I hear something, I'm like, oh my God, I never heard them before. What a great band. What a great composition. What a great genre, whatever it is. I'm always so delighted, but I leave that a little bit too much to chance. I still love that chance encounter with some great art. But you can also seek it out through recommendations, through even like Spotify, like just random stuff it recommends or whatever. So I'm going to be seeking out more. I've already started this, more new music, both live and recorded.
I love it. That's a great thing to seek out. Number 6. Do you remember our club, Peter? We formed a club.
Yes.
Over at Retreat one day over cocktails.
Yes.
And it was the Adam and Peter's Say No Club.
Yeah.
Do you remember that club?
Club Accountability or something.
Accountability Club.
Right. It was like
we were accountability buddies.
It was like 4 days before the pandemic really started.
Really was.
So that gave us a little bit of a hiccup in the continuation of the club.
That whole club was based around the idea that you and I were going to say no to at least one thing a week.
Right.
I am now expanding that. I would like to say no to one thing a day. I have the opportunities to do it.
Would you like to
knock
record
on
another
wood.
podcast episode today?
No.
Okay, see, mission accomplished.
done.
Ask me if I'd like to.
Would you like to work on another podcast?
Yes. So I got to find something else.
Oh,
to
shoot.
say
Okay. Well,
no
you
to.
might have to find someone else to do that. Yeah. No, but so this is all about, like, you were talking about.
Ask Caleb, can we continue on for more than 5 minutes?
Caleb's ready to
See
go.
what he says.
He's done. So when you talk about like scheduling time for deep listening, you have to kind of make time for these kind of things that you think, oh, that's not as important, but we know they actually are.
Right.
To have these things, and for that, you're gonna have to say no to things.
That's right.
At first, you're gonna have to say no to things that you think you have to do that maybe you don't really want to do.
Yes.
But then when it gets more complicated, like the situation I know that you've been in for several years, is like you got to say no to stuff that you want to do.
Exactly.
That's hard to do.
Oh, saying no to stuff you don't want to do is easy.
I know. But saying no to, like, when you have enough options to have, like, oh man, all of this would be cool, but you got to learn to say no to stuff. And I'm going to be disciplined about this, starting off this year right with trying to.
Do we need to start the club again?
We might have to
Club
start the
accountability?
club. What'd you say no to today? You didn't say no to recording another episode. You didn't say no to lunch.
That's true.
What did you
Why
say
you
no?
put? Well, what time is it? It's 1:42. I got time, my friend.
Something else.
Okay. Well, you know what's good about that too is, like, if you say yes to everything, even good things, you're not actually saying. If you say yes to too much, what you're basically saying is kind of to everything.
That's right.
Because you're spreading yourself too thin and
Yeah.
you're not really committing. So, yeah.
Guard
All
your
right.
time. Guard your time.
Number 7. I'm going to say no to going beyond number 7 today.
I like
We
it.
were going to do a bonus, but we're not. I'm saying no. Number 7 of our New Year's goals / resolution for me is that I want to practice more away from the piano.
Oh, you don't like the piano anymore?
I love the piano, and I love practicing the piano. But I used to do, when I was traveling more, and even like with my writing and stuff, I used to do more of it away from the piano. And I've kind of drifted back to Old Faithful, as we say, which is great. And I mean, it's funny because I also want to practice more at the piano this year. But I want to at least have some time when I'm practicing away from the piano, because I feel like it spurs musical growth and adaptations in us that we wouldn't normally get when we're at our closest instrument.
Give us some examples of practicing away from the piano.
Well, that would be like to listen to some music and sort of do some transcribing even when you're not at the piano, like really thinking through what something feels like or looks, not really looks like, but sounds like imagine yourself playing it, imagine yourself playing along to something, and then if you're not listening to something, composing something or creating something or improvising away, maybe singing some, maybe even at a different instrument besides the piano. But mostly just kind of walking around and singing some things, and if something good comes up, making little notes of it, and then bringing it back.
And you had that great YouTube video about a month ago on Stella by Starlight, where learning tunes in the key of music. That's a great opportunity to practice away from your instrument, to try to acknowledge, okay, let's pick we don't even have to have perfect pitch. You could say this is in the key of B flat. See if you can pick out the scale degree of the melody. Okay, it starts on the tonic, then it goes up to the 5th and down the scale to the 2nd, and then it goes up to the 6th and down the scale to the 3rd, or whatever it is. Trying to figure out the scale degrees of the melody. That's great work that you were doing on that video. Everybody should go check that out. It's called The Key of Music, or what was it? What was
the Key of Music, how to play in any key.
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's exactly. And then you might even go through the next chorus as you're walking around, and then just go through the chords and see if you can just call out the chords of the other key that you're in. There's so many things. We always think, oh, once I get to a piano, I'm going to practice this. I mean, there's a lot of things that you have to be at your instrument, but there's a lot of things that you don't have to be. And I feel like the adaptation, especially for ear training, that it spurs in us is so worthwhile. So I'm looking forward to that.
Totally. Well, I learned a lot here, and this was super helpful for me, Peter, to hear your things. And you know what also is helpful to me, Peter?
Yes, to give a like and subscribe.
Yes, to like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, look at that. Look at those. Tina, you genius. Look at how great those blinds are working.
Genius.
Give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. And if you're listening on the podcast, you can give us a rating and review. We only accept 7-star ratings.
I'm going to read the last one because it's poignant.
We got a bunch.
It's poignant yet accurate.
Yeah.
This title, Best Show. This is the best podcast ever. Even if you don't like jazz, the chemistry between the two hosts is amazing. Maybe you should be into jazz a little because it's all they talk about. But I am into jazz, so we'll give them 7 stars. That's Mr. Leonard's from the Netherlands, and we call it. We read every single review.
We do. And shout out to, we just had lunch with our buddy Nick.
Yes,
who is a listener, longtime listener.
Yes,
and he's not super into jazz, but he just listens to the podcast just for fun. So we do have those folks who aren't as nerdy as we think they are.
That's right. And we got some other ones, but we're gonna read those at the next episode. That's called a teaser. That's called a cliffhanger.
And until then,
you'll hear it.
I'm in Steamboat Springs, Colorado currently.
I'm in Indianapolis.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Andrew, hi.
Because I feel inspired to play something else from your playing.
Okay, that's great.
I think using the metronome is a great tool, but it's not the only tool.
All of the answers are really in the music.
What does it mean to live in a groove, be in a groove?
Until next time, happy practicing.